And welcome everybody to episode 9 of myFace in Edrington. We have one less box today. We have the three of us rocking and rolling. We have the lovely Miss Stephanie Paul, Executive Director of
Yay!
myFace. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome back.
Hello, Tommy.
And you
Thanks for
guys,
having me.
always a pleasure. And you guys finally get a face to the name, Miss Pat Chibbaro from NYU, nurse practitioner and one of my favorite human beings on planet Earth. Pat, how are we doing?
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Tommy. I love you and Ashley and that little girl with those headbands. Oh my God. She is the cutest baby on the planet. Oh God.
I might be a little biased, but I have to agree with that.
She's just a little princess. I just love seeing her. I love all those photos. She's the kind of baby that is so wonderful for other families to see along the way, those who are at the beginning of their journey. So
absolutely. And I
love
love posting the after pictures inside of our Facebook groups and showcasing people like, listen, you're going to be okay. It's all good. See, I was panicking too, and I was having many heart attacks, but it all works well when you have the right team.
Well, coming from, I think that's what, when you think about the team, the parents are such an important part of our
Kimberly.
Team. Hi, Kimberly. We are a team that includes the parents, and myFace, we are the myFace Center for Craniofacial Care. I'm very proud to say that at the beginning of every conversation I have with anyone. That's how I answer the phone. And I have told people around the country for years and years that if it wasn't for myFace, we could not have the team that we have, just simply stated. So yay,
absolutely.
myFace. Yay, myFace.
And yeah, it's absolutely amazing. This group, it's so much fun learning more about Stephanie, learning more about Karen, learning more about Dina. It's really, really fun to meet and speak with everybody. And I couldn't wait to get you on board. Yay! So we could talk more about you. And one of my favorite stories is how we came and how we actually met you, which is great. And it actually comes from Kimberly inside of the inside of the Facebook group. So when we were talking inside of it, Kimberly wrote me, we had some mutual friends, and she said, please definitely go and check out NYU. And she mentioned you as being one of the best people to speak with.
Thank you.
And we were exploring our options, and we were talking with Montefiore, we were talking with LIU, and it's not an easy choice, especially when you know nothing about what's happening. It's like, how do you pick a team? How do you know that this is the right person to choose with? And it's just, there were so many things that lined up with Kimberly, and I was like, you know what, let's call NYU. Let's see what's going to happen. So Ashley did the phone call, and she got in touch with somebody, and we were super excited. We got a meeting within a week that we called, and we were pumped. And being excited that we were going to be meeting with you guys, about 2 hours later, you call Ashley back on your day off. And you apologize to Ashley for how much we were going to have to wait to get in. And you bumped us up and got us in, I think, 3 or 4 days earlier. And you were like, no, with babies this young, they got to get in right away. I'm so sorry you had to deal with that. 2 weeks. Yes, you're right, Ash. It was 2 weeks. Oh, Ashley's writing in the chat.
She's there. There she is. Yay, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley.
Yeah.
So, and
that's
you
my
got
philosophy.
Us in right away.
Yeah. I think that, we have a lot of different staff members, and sometimes when a call comes in, if I'm not there, or even if I am, sometimes, people who maybe are new don't realize that prenatal consults and new babies are our top priorities. They don't wait. What we will do, whatever we have to do to get them in ASAP, because we can only imagine. And I don't know, I've always said this. I have 2 daughters, but I don't have any, they have no medical issues. I've never had to have that kind of anxiety, but as soon as we hear from you, we want to get you in. And sometimes the challenge is that maybe one of the surgeons isn't there, or Dr. Shetty, the orthodontist, isn't there. We try to get as many of the team together as possible. But I at least like to try to reach out just to see how you're doing, and then of course to try to get you in. Yeah, after 33 years, I have a little pull getting those appointments moved up.
A little pull? That was really impressive. It was like, no, this is what's happening. Like, you lay down the law.
Tomorrow.
And before we even met you guys, based off that phone call alone, I'm looking at him like, this is our team, right? It's like,
Aww.
Yep. So before we even stepped foot in that office, we knew that you guys were the right fit. And when we finally got to meet you in person, which was amazing, you said, oh my God, so hello, said hello to Harlan, said, come meet your second family. And I cried several times in your office, but that was the first one. Like, that was so sweet to say, and so true.
It is true. And that's why I always tell families, we definitely recommend getting a second opinion or a third opinion. You have to feel, and I say this at prenatal consults or when new babies come in, is that when you meet, first of all, it's not just about the surgery. And I think that's one of the things that parents learn. Sometimes, they come in it's just all about the surgeon. I don't care about anything else. But then they realize that it's a journey, and it's not just about the surgery. It's about the whole process and about getting support along the way from different members of the team. And so and I think you get a feeling, after, and I've said to parents, just be open. You're going to, at the end of your opinions, you'll get a feeling, you'll know what's right. And I think that's pretty much true. Everybody has to feel that the fit is there. And, especially when a baby is born with a cleft that we know is going to involve multiple surgeries and multiple therapies over the years. And during the prenatal consult, you don't know yet what kind of cleft your baby's going to have. And so that's why when you meet a team, it's really important to know that this is a team that's going to follow you. And even like with Harlan, with not having a complete cleft, she still will be followed by us for many years, because we want to see how her speech develops, how her teeth develop, how the scar looks, how she's doing overall. And so we are, and especially in the beginning, you spend a lot of time with us, and you got to feel connected, to the team, certainly the surgeon, but to the whole team. And that's why I think for anybody that's listening, take your time, but I think you'll sort of know what's the right team for you.
Absolutely. And the warm welcoming that you do get with your team, it's organic, it's nothing. Ashley and I are those stubborn New Yorkers. It's like, have a nice day. Don't tell me what to do. It's like, we always got our guard up. Like, what does this person want from me? Why are you talking to me?
Yep.
But it was such a warm feeling going in there. And it's like you said, that anxiety, it's terrible. And when you walk in and you see that open arm feeling and everyone's like so excited and like, it's amazing. And that like I said, our decision was made before we even stepped foot, and it was just solidified as soon as we did step foot. And then just meeting every single person individually, having Dr. Flores break down how every single person on his team specializes in one thing, that you're going to be the absolute best in what you do. That attention to detail is beautiful. I mean, it's extraordinary.
Well, I wanted, just to point out, and again, giving kudos to myFace, because we're one of the centers that, because of their support, are able to literally have almost everybody in one physical space. And so anytime you walk down the hall, you've got the surgeon, speech pathologist, social worker, I'm there. The surgeons are beyond me, and then the orthodontic team. And so at any given time, as you're walking down the hall, you may have a need for me or Deborah, our dietitian, so everybody is on one side of the hall or the other. And that is really due to the support that we have gotten from myFace, to be able to have all the different specialists on the team here on the team in one place. And, and there are some families, for example, who can't afford to see a speech pathologist. And because of their support, we have one who will see whoever needs to be seen. I mean, that's just a little piece of it. And Deborah, our dietitian, not a lot of teams have their own dietitian, nutritionist. That doesn't happen. And so, we are very, very, very fortunate. And to have an orthodontic team right down the hall, very unusual. And so I think that's part of our culture. Is it's very much like a family welcoming you into our group. So I'm glad that we're emanating that, and I give a shout out to all the people on my team. It's not just me, but that's our culture. That is the culture. And we set the bar very high in terms of, how we treat families. We treat them like they are that they're our family. That's how we feel. So,
and talking with other people in the group, it's rare that you do have that. And we were there once a week, and then every other week we were there on this pretty often. And driving to the city is tough, but then you see your other families that have to drive 5 hours, 3 hours to certain places 2-3 times a week because they're not in the same place and they have to go somewhere else. I mean,
right.
it makes it a difficult situation even more difficult. So thanks to someone like myFace, you're able to have that, and it is such a burden off. And it makes me so happy that we're only $100 somewhat away from our goal. And if you guys want to help us get to that, right down there, myface.org/Edrington, we are so very close to that double match. Edrington will be double matching up to $25,000. So as soon as we get to 12.5, Edrington will come on in for the 25 grand. So it's not going to, I don't plan on stopping at 12.5 either. We're going strong up until the last week of April. So we'll continue to rock with it. Please, please, please keep on rocking with it. But just that story alone shows you the strength of myFace and how it's helping families. And I could say from a personal experience how much it helped Ashley and I. It's, well, what happens when we see the orthodontist? Well, let's right next door. Let's come meet Dr. Chetier, and he'll walk you through it, and come meet his assistant team. Mind-boggling to have that, like, let alone for a child, but for anyone. If anyone ever got hurt, like, I'm Wreck-It Ralph, and I've broken every bone in my body, so I've had to see many orthopedics in my life, but it was never the case. Like, if I had to go to a different place for rehab, I had to go to a different place to see the surgeon, I had to go to a different, everything was always different. Nothing was ever on the same floor.
I think the communication, to have that communication with each other, that the parents directly see us interacting, is, I think, a key thing, that you actually see it happening. Whereas you'll have someone say, well, I'll call that person. But when you're actually seeing that it's happening, I think that hopefully it exudes some confidence, and, it makes you feel that, yeah, we actually are, we're all on the same page about your daughter.
Full confidence. And I was so happy walking in there and having Harlan see you guys. And it's a burden that's taken off. And we were speaking offline about this as well. The boxes that are given out, like, after our first appointment, it's like, oh, we get gifts. I didn't know that. Like, and it's like, this is fun. Like, I only got a lollipop. But you guys give us a full box that allows us to, and I still use the harness that was in there. We used every wipe that was in there, we used everything that was inside of that box, and it's huge. Like, it's tremendous. And now that, Stephanie, maybe you could touch in on the new boxes that are being given to the NYU team to take home.
Yeah, I would love to. Well, first of all, I have to say thank you, Edrington, Tommy, Zach, Mark, everybody on these
Valerie,
9
all you
episodes.
guys,
Everybody,
thank you.
you guys, awesome.
Yay.
Thank you. We are so grateful for the support that you've given us. And I'm really glad you both talked so in depth about why comprehensive care is so important. And it's something that myFace is really thinking about. We are, the jewel in the crown is NYU and the work that Pat and the team are doing there. And we're thinking about, almost every hour another child is born with a cleft lip palate craniofacial condition. and thinking about how many kids there are around the country and what can we do to make sure that as many families as possible are getting access to the kind of care that you and Ashley and Harlan had at NYU. So it's really important to us. And so one of the things we were very lucky to do, we learned about the Welcome Baby program that had been going on at NYU, and we're connected with Sarah at Welcome Baby. She's incredible, and Juliet. And we just started having a talk over the summer, like how could we expand this program, et cetera. And then all of a sudden, serendipity hits. We have a mom who had a baby with a cleft, did not know in advance. It was only a cleft, and she received a gift basket, and she thought it was so wonderful and helpful to her. She came to myFace and said, can we replicate this program? And I said, well, we're not going to start it from square one because we know somebody who's already doing it. We went to Welcome Baby, and then we thought about what can we put in these kits to be specific to the cleft family, partnered with Dr. Brown's, put in the Dr. Brown's bottles, the Happy Passy, and it's amazing.
Yay.
And we're also now able to deliver these kits. We have 8 institutions around the country, of course, including NYU, where it all started.
Wonderful.
And we're able to give these kits out to babies that are born. And I think Pat said one was just given away the other day, right?
Today.
Oh, today, there you go.
About 4 hours ago.
Amazing.
And you know what I really like with those boxes? I love giving them out to all new families, but when you're doing a prenatal consult, especially with a family when this is their first baby, and maybe a few weeks ago they heard that their baby's going to have a cleft, they are so focused about it and so worried that when I will actually open that box with them and start pulling stuff out and say, this is awesome, look at this, the thing, the pillow, yep. Look at these cute things, little onesies. I want them to you realize you're having a baby, yay! And that the cleft is something that we know what to do. And I think that's what parents need to know. You need to know that we know what to do. One of the things I always tell them is the very first prenatal consult I did, I was actually pregnant myself with my daughter, who is now 31, and she was in the picture that you put up of me and my daughters in the beginning, and she's finishing her pediatric residency, and she is going to be a pediatrician. And I am just, I remember when I was pregnant with Gabby, and a mom came in, and it was a routine sonogram. It was not a 3D sonogram, or all, we have more fancy techniques now with sonography. They caught it at 18 weeks on a routine sonogram. She came in, she was completely devastated. There was no internet, there was no Facebook family group, there was nothing like that. There was myFace, which at that point was it was rebranded to myFace, but it was another group. But this mom and I together sort of went on this little journey. And so I told her everything I could. I had her network with other families whose kids were born with clefts. But I have to tell you, I was pretty overwhelmed as well. And when I came back from my maternity leave, her daughter was born the day I came back from my maternity leave, and was born at NYU, and I went upstairs, and she was born with a unilateral complete cleft lip and palate. She is now, and I think what's important for parents to hear is what happened to that girl. Did she have a life? And I said, yeah, she went to, for anyone who lives in New York City, she went to Stuyvesant High School, top New York City high school. And I think, the message is your child can have a life. They can be educated, smart. They can have friends, and then she was married. And these are the things that I think give hope to parents when they are sitting there at 24 weeks pregnant, totally devastated. These are the stories that I can share, and that Welcome Baby myFace box brings them back to the fact that yes, you're having a baby with a cleft, but you're having a baby. Mm-hmm. It's amazing, and trying to celebrate that.
It's as Ashley would describe it, that it's your perfect pregnancy dream is gone, but that excitement it does bring it back. And Christina just put this in the chat. I'm not sure if you saw, but she'll never forget when she met you when she was pregnant and she was sad, and you
Aw.
reassured her that we would be okay. So, and the word "we" really does go a long way. And I agree with that. It's, you did make it feel like we were having a baby. And, you know, like it was like, you're fine. You'll be all right. You're here to get that taken care of. You're having a baby. Fantasy pregnancy. Excuse me, baby. Thank you. My wife Ashley just wrote in the chat, fantasy pregnancy. But it's amazing that reassurance. And yes, you're exciting. Like Ashley was ready to pop. You know, she was. You know, it was only a matter of time and getting it, and then walking in like, yeah, we're good to go. You know, like we're in the best hands possible. This is the crew that we want to go with. They are ready for us. They have everything. And for people that don't understand, when you say the importance of that Dr. Brown's bottle, luckily we were able to do some research going into it, and we found out about that bottle. But when you have a cleft, or you have a cleft palate or a cleft lip, it's hard for the babies to gain suction. And one of the most difficult things is feeding the child. And those Dr. Browns, they are meant for exactly this. And they are obviously a little more premium than normal bottles and normal nibbles, but this is exactly what you need for your baby to feed properly and for your baby to grow and be as healthy as they could be. And it's perfect. You know, it's perfect to get those. And it's something that some people wouldn't know if you didn't, if you're overwhelmed and you don't see that on your research. Getting that on your first visit and knowing that it's something that's going to be life-changing and feed your baby, it's huge. You have another one. You have a lot of fans, by the way, Pat. The chat's on fire because of you. We're grateful for you, Pat, and the whole NYU team.
Amelia.
You and Shelly were the one.
Yeah, so sweet.
I have to just announce it. We just got another donation, so now we're only $93 away from our goal. And I want to make one more comment. Actually, when we were a little bit more away, you know, the kits, they cost. We have to pay for them, and they cost $150 per kit. So $150 donation, first off, will take us to our goal, and we'll pay for a kit for a baby to receive, hopefully in the next few weeks or so. So if that's any incentive for people to maybe think about making a gift, that would be fantastic.
That would be epic. That would be. I'm so excited that we're so close to goal. It really is.
It's really
awesome.
it really. I mean, in the next 2 months, we await the birth of 7 babies who we have been following prenatally. Between starting next Monday, when I know one of the moms is going to be induced, until the 7th one is due. I believe it's the first day of July. So we are watching, and now I have it in front of me. And every time I call each mom right before they're supposed to have the baby, just to check in and see how they're doing. And so one day I called a couple, and the mom, I could tell the mom seemed like she was having a little problem talking. And I said, "I'm sorry, are you in labor right now?" And she said that they were at the hospital. I said, "Hang up." Call
you back.
Can you, call me after the baby's born. I had one dad who called me from the delivery room at NYU, who I had done a prenatal consult on. And he said, "Pat, we're having the baby." I said, "Well, did the baby come out yet?" "No." I said, "I don't do labor until I don't do labor." I do after baby out. So I literally ran over to the delivery room. They wouldn't leave the delivery room until I came and just met with them and examined the baby. But it's amazing because what happens in the prenatal is that literally when the baby's born, they have my cell. They text me photos, and sometimes my husband's like, "Oh, I think there's a new one coming in," because
incoming
baby. Sometimes because it's on the weekend, it's whenever. I've had parents call me at 3:00 in the morning. I'll say to them, it's okay if you wait like till 6 a.m., but okay, whatever.
And we have one of those stories as well. And as does Kimberly, who was our first comment, and basically you talking her through. It's like, I don't know if this is cleft related, but I really need your help right now. And you gave her guidance throughout, and us as well. Like post-surgery, Harlan gets congested no matter what. So we knew that even prior to surgery. And her congestion was crazy.
And that nose gets clogged up.
I was like, and I was like gently like putting things, I didn't know what to do. And after a conversation with Pat, we found out what to do. And then I was practically waterboarding her with saline. And but I followed Pat's. Pat was just like,
say,
get it in there.
What kind of advice is she giving you?
You were like, just get it in there. Like you're being
there.
too gentle. You're being too gentle. And you were right though. It worked. The saline and everything else. And man, it was, I am the most nervous parent of all time, by the way. I just don't handle things right. So then at one point I freaked out and I thought that I might've been exposed and then she might've had COVID like a month after. So I went to CVS at like 1 o'clock in the morning, the 24 hours one. And I spent like $700 at CVS. Like I was getting like all these like air machines. But Pat, you were there for reassurance, telling me that one, I didn't need all that stuff, and two, that she was going to be fine and how to fix it. But these things, it's just, and also like obviously going throughout this and having a child during a pandemic is interesting, to say the least.
My God.
Specifically a child that has a craniofacial difference that needs some extra help. And a lot of these, I was not able to go into the office. So luckily prior to surgery, I was able to go in. And that was great because we learned how to do everything with you guys. You guys taught us how to do everything. And I was so grateful to be in there. But prior to, I wasn't. And the most amazing part, it would be someone from your team right after they talked with Ashley and saw Harlan to come back out and say the exact thing to me. So
yeah, we were really sensitive about that. I have to say, there are many nights I would walk home crying because I may have had 3 pre-ops that day, and I had to tell the parents that only one of you can be in the hospital on the day that your infant is having surgery with general anesthesia for 2-3 hours. I hated that, and I am so happy to say that they have lifted the 1-parent rule, and now it's back to both parents being there. But I had one baby right in the beginning of COVID that had to have a jaw surgery to have the baby's jaw advanced because he couldn't breathe well. And I had to tell that mom that she had to not only come in by herself, she had to stay in the ICU by herself. I was in tears. I felt so horrible, but, I kept saying to the parents, we're going to support you. We know it's hard, but we were really devastated by that. And so I just wanted any of the parents that are out there, I just want you to know the team, we felt your pain, but we had to do we had to try to follow the rules. And that was so hard. But now we're back on with both parents can come, and we're so grateful for that. But I can't imagine what it was like to have to go through surgery when during COVID. Just very frightening. I can say, and I told parents, I never had a child who came in during COVID for surgery and then left and then got COVID probably from being exposed. That never happened. We had really excellent care and protection, so that didn't happen. But then, so I was reassuring parents that their child would be okay with the surgery, but then I had to reassure them on top of that it was okay that that with COVID. Then I had to reassure other parents that we maybe had to delay the surgery because we couldn't do surgeries for a little while at the beginning of COVID. Oh, Danielle's here. Oh my God, Danielle. All these mommies, I still remember. Oh my God, Danielle is such an awesome networking parent down there. I see her, but
you're one of our most popular guests so far, Pat.
Woo! So
the chat loves you.
But I think what's important to just communicate is that we can't feel your pain because we don't have kids who are born with clefts. At least anyone on my team. There are some teams where some of the staff themselves has a child with a cleft or themselves had a cleft. And that's why I think it's important for us to just say, we don't understand. I will never understand, Tommy and Ashley, what it's like for you, what the whole experience was. But I feel like I'm as close as I can get and empathizing. And then the important thing is getting you with other families who absolutely know what you are going through, went through, what myFace does in terms of networking families and all that support. That's why it can't just be the medical team. It has to be everybody, because when you talk about comprehensive care, you're not just talking about medical care, it's the psychosocial care. I always talk about psychosocial functioning. that is as important to me as medical functioning. That if we can do everything we want to make the child look aesthetically within the norm, whatever that is, but if we're not helping them with their self-esteem, supporting them in terms of their confidence, and helping support the parents, it's not complete. And again, it's myFace helping us with that, with a social worker, psychologist, dietitian, speech pathologist, all the people that are on the team, that because of Stephanie and her team, we're able to, she's made my life so wonderful, because a lot of nurse practitioners I know are not surrounded right with them, right next to them, by others who can jump in and help support those families. 'Cause I can't do it all myself. And I don't have all the different expertise, but everybody there together, is really, we're very grateful. We're very grateful.
And I want to, say something about that and how important the comprehensive team is. I've been with myFace for, I think, 14 months now. And the reason I came here is I have a nephew who was born with 22q deletion, had a cleft palate, and did not have comprehensive care, has never had comprehensive care. He's 19 now. And I know all the things that Harlan has and will have. And when she's 19, her life will be very different than my nephew's life is. And I can't stress how important it is that you have all the things that Pat just talked about. And there are a lot of families out there who don't have that. And we really are thinking about how can we support those families as well, whether it's a support group or just providing education, providing resources, providing community. We need to be there for them to the extent that we can be. And I think that's really the message we want to convey, is how important the comprehensive care is, and getting to as close, if you can't get to NYU, understanding what is it that you need, and get that, and advocate for your child. And advocate for your child on the medical care side, on the psychosocial care side, for school. What accommodation does a child need? And make sure that you're asking the questions and you understand the resources. And that is truly what myFace is about.
Yeah, well, when we meet every week and see some families and then talk about them, we will often spend more time talking about their psychosocial educational needs than their medical needs, because there are times as we're following them that they don't need surgery, that they really maybe need speech therapy or orthodontics, or they're just really struggling in terms of their family, situations. And so that is the reason why it's not just about the surgery. And so when you're looking for a team, if it's a prenatal consult, if you're only meeting the surgeon and you have no idea who the rest of the team is, you need to either ask who they are or go somewhere else. And there are parents who have gone to other consults. Oh, sorry.
Good catch.
Nice. There are parents who've gone to other consults and they have come to us and said, wow, we have to be here for 2 hours. Well, I said, yeah, well, there are 5 different people who would like to meet you. And that's separate from what we do, 2 consults, one with the surgeon and then one with the rest of our team. And so, a lot of them are not used to that. So this is what I want other families to know, that you don't necessarily have to come to our team, but you have the right to ask for team care, and to understand what that is, and to know who's my point person on the team. Who is the person that I can call if I don't know what to do. So I have one little story. So I have a patient whose father used to call me. He used to call me Pat Tomorrow, and instead of Pat Chibbaro, he said, "I'm going to call Pat tomorrow. I don't know what to do about that. I'll call Pat tomorrow." So that became my new name for him, was Pat Tomorrow, because and then there are parents who said they have they take my business card and laminate it and stick it on the refrigerator door, because. And often it might not have anything to do with me in terms of me as a nurse practitioner, but they know that I will direct them. And especially if they need consults with other people not on our team, they want to know that whoever they're going to is someone that we would recommend. And there's GI, cardiac, there's a lot of other issues that sometimes our patients have. Luckily, most of the kids don't have anything else going on besides the cleft. So yay for that. Yay, Harlan. And oh my God, I have to just say those boxing gloves that you got for her, they're ridiculous.
Thank you.
They are ridiculous. I can't.
I have to thank Uncle Tall George for coming through with those. I
Wait,
believe
who is that?
she has
Uncle who?
my buddy Tall George. So there's several Georges in my neighborhood. You got Short George, you got Fat George. He's Tall George. So so Uncle George got those for her, as well as her uncle Matt got her a pair. I personally got her a pair, and I would like to thank Coach Ryan O'Leary at Champs Boxing Club, because she came in with her awesome Champs onesie, ready to fight. I don't know if you remember that as well. So she had her boxing gloves and she had her Champs boxing shirt on, getting ready to fight, and was in the zone for it.
I love it.
We were ready to go, man. We were ready to go. And it's, again, even like what you're saying, having the whole team there, our first trip there, we came in ready for a fight. And that's why Harlan was dressed up in her boxing gloves and her Champs boxing shirt. And we didn't know what to expect. It's exciting. It's terrifying. It's all these emotions wrapped into one, like praying for good news, praying. You don't know what you're going to hear. And then it went from the worry of having to go to being excited to go on our visits, to see not only the team at NYU, but other parents. Because you walk in there and you see our first day, we saw a child that was pre-op, that was, I think, on week 8 or 7, whatever it may be, of NAM. And we saw the difference in how close it came. And they were going into surgery in a few days. And then we met another baby, because you said, what, Wednesdays are baby days, right?
Wednesday is baby day. Yep.
Yeah. We saw another baby that was literally 1 week post-op, and he was getting everything cleaned out. And then we saw another child that was coming in for her visit after, I think, 2 months. We saw everything that we needed to see that day. That is extraordinary.
And and that's really a tribute to the ability of us to all be in one place, because they may be all coming to our center for different appointments, but when they get in that waiting room together, and sometimes I'll come out and I will actually just start, because I sometimes see parents that are a little wary.
You brought two of the babies to us. I remember that.
Yeah. I'm just like, I go to the family. Do you mind? And then, do you want to? Boom, put them together. I had a couple that came for a prenatal consult. The loveliest couple. Dad was very teary, and then I had a new baby who was 1 week old, who I followed prenatally, and they had come to get their NAM, and they're just about to go out. And I'm in with this family, and I hear the baby, and I jump up, I run out the door, close the door, and said, would you? Yes. Would you like to? Yes. And then I opened the door, and I couldn't even get the mom into the room. The couple came to the door. Mom is standing in the hallway with the baby, and everybody starts crying. Oh, Desiree, hi.
Pat
all my families. Yeah, I mean, and so all I had to do is, and so they're talking to each other, and I just sort of stepped back, got my coffee, had a little drink, and came back, and and that's why it's so great to have the kind of setup that we have been able to have because of myFace. Wouldn't happen otherwise. I mean, I know all the teams around the country because through the American Club Palate Association, there's not a ton of people doing this around the country that are really comprehensive teams. And I know all of them, pretty much after almost 30 years of going to these meetings. And so I know a lot of them have said to me, how'd you get your own social worker? myFace. How'd you get your own psychologist? myFace. How'd you all be in one place? myFace. And so you have apartment across the street from the hospital? Yes. Oh, you have vouchers for airlines? Yes, myFace. I don't take any credit for it. I'm just, grateful that I feel like I am able to offer this to the families because, of the support from all of you that are listening. It really does matter. It really does.
It matters tremendously,
It really does.
and in all aspects, from walking. And Stephanie, you, Karen, Dina, you always write Zach, Valerie, and I thanking us. We're not the ones to be thanked. It's you guys. Like I feel bad accepting being thanked. You guys are the ones that set up the platform to get this done. So on behalf of all of us, we thank you and your team, and we thank everyone at myFace. And I look forward to doing this every week and coming in and trying to raise as much money as physically possible. And that's why that stays down there at the bottom of the screen, myface.org/Edrington. It is our goal to get to that double match at 25,000. We are $93 away last time we checked. So let us hit this number. Pat, being the most popular person on the digital speakeasy, myFace Edrington, possible to date, I'm fairly confident this is the episode that's going to hit it.
Oh my God, you guys.
My father-in-law, Rich Gianetto, says thank you to myFace as well. Yes, he's Harlan's papa. It's you guys are the ones to thank, man. You guys put in the work. You guys put in God's work. Pat, as well as you, Stephanie, you are the ones that need our support. You are the ones that set us up for success. You are the ones that put us at ease and keep us comfortable and allow us in a time that is not the easiest to be extremely happy, extremely comfortable, and enjoy being the parent to a beautiful baby girl. And it just turns into another aspect of it. And another aspect of pregnancy. So, and there we go. I think that Papa and Mimi
you guys.
Oh my goodness, you kidding? Oh, yay!
Goodness.
And we hit.
Yay!
And we hit. Look at that.
Oh my God.
Thank
Oh my
you,
God.
Papa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edrington.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Eileen. We hit our double match
Yay!
for myFace.
Yay! Oh my goodness.
Can I just say thank you for giving the kudos to our incredible staff at myFace. I want to give a shout out to the myFace Board of Trustees, a group of incredible human beings who many of them have been involved with our organization 10, 15, 20, 35 years, have really brought it every single day. They support the work that we do. And I also have to just thank the donors. You know, ultimately, it's all the people out there who are donating daily to support our work and our community who, you know, they're brave, they tell their stories, they're willing to come forth and talk about, you know, what it is we need to do as a community. And we really feel like there's so many more people we need to reach, and we're going to do our level best to do that and serve as many people as we possibly can, providing education, support, and telling them about how to get access to comprehensive care, because it is vital to the lifetime journey that every single person impacted by a craniofacial difference is going to have.
And you have a voice in Ashley and I for as long as we could possibly do it. So we are more than happy to come out and educate, raise awareness, whatever it could possibly do. We're always down to do it. And thank you everyone at myFace for making this possible.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Pat, we've spoken about your team in depth. If you could break down your team by what they do. We had the pleasure of having Dr. Chate as our orthodontist. He put us together with our nose stent as well as our tape. And I tell people all the time, people were blown away seeing Harlan pre-surgery, like, oh my God, the surgery went well. It's like, we didn't have surgery on her nose yet. You know, it's so starting from Dr. Chate and going to Dr. Flores, like you mentioned, Debbie, the entire team. If you could just explain to everybody what I said earlier about how everyone has their one role and what they have to perfect and just run it down, I would love for that.
Absolutely. So the core members of a cleft team definitely are the surgeon, the orthodontist, and a speech pathologist. Without those three, you absolutely, positively cannot call yourselves a team. But as we've talked about, that's the skeleton of, that's a piece of the team. And so if you think about, and I think about, I have presented with families a roadmap, right? And I don't know if you remember me sharing this with you, sort of a roadmap of what's the journey. So the journey starts prenatally. And what we want to prepare you for is the fact that you will need the most important thing when the baby is born is that they're feeding well, breathing well, otherwise healthy, and that they're growing. And so the important people in the very beginning with that are anybody on the team that deals with feeding. And so, I do, my Deborah, our dietitian, does that. And we also, one of our roles is to interface with the pediatricians that are taking care of the babies in the community so that we are all on the same page. So that's the role of dietitians. Sometimes the speech language pathologists also do feeding. At NYU, we separately additionally have a feeding swallowing team when we have babies who are having issues beyond what I and Deborah can help with. So we have an additional backup there at NYU. So you've got the dietitian, myself as a nurse practitioner. I have a lot of different roles as a nurse and a nurse practitioner because I can prescribe, I can order labs, I can order any, I am able to do pretty much except the surgery. I can take the stitches out, but I can't put them in. I can't put the lip together, but and so my role is to prepare the patient, do the feeding in the beginning, help with any medical issues, liaison with the pediatricians, prep the kids for surgery. I do their histories and physicals and tell them how they need to take care of the baby after. And as you know, I'm pretty much that first call when you're at home freaking out, not knowing what to do. I usually get the first call and try to help deal with that. And if I can't deal with it, I'll escalate it up to Dr. Flores. So that's one part of my role. Then you've got and then you've got the orthodontic team. And so right away, they're going to evaluate whether or not your baby has a cleft either involving the lip, nose, gum, palate, and what do they need treatment-wise before surgery. There are some babies that don't need any treatment because their cleft is more on the mild end. Doesn't mean that down the road, they may not need some orthodontic work. So they're there to provide the pre-surgical nasoalveolar molding. And then they are there afterwards along the way as kids grow and their teeth are coming in. What do they need in terms of orthodontic treatment? And what do they need down the road in terms of surgery that involves orthodontics? You got that piece. The speech language pathologist comes into play when the babies, especially when they have a cleft palate, start speaking. Because we want to close the palate before kids start to say speech that has to be relearned, that they're saying incorrectly. And so we have the speech pathologist who is there to assess their speech and either to directly provide speech therapy, thank you, myFace, or get speech therapy in the community. And then our speech pathologist oversees and guides those therapists in the community because many speech pathologists in the community do not have specialized training in taking care of kids' needs, speech needs, when there's a cleft lip and palate. So they're very, very important in working with local speech pathologists and working with the school. Then we have also our social worker and our psychologist. So we have, whenever a new baby comes in, they're evaluated by our psychologist. Our social worker, Jessica, yay, myFace, is able to assess families and let the rest of the team know what's happening with them, because some families are going to need special help in order to be able to go through nasoalveolar molding. You have single parents, you have divorced parents, you have parents who are non-documented, who have those who may have several kids and are just trying to navigate. And then often we will reach out to myFace to help support those families. The psychologist is also available to help in terms of any kind of assessing them if they have needs that are beyond some of the things that the social worker can help with. And so you've got them all along the way. And so, those are some of the core pieces. And then, of course, you have the surgeons, and we have two cleft surgeons, Dr. Flores and Dr. Staffenberg, on our team. And they will devise the treatment plan, but the treatment plan evolves. So if your child is born with a cleft lip and palate, I always tell parents this, the only thing we know for sure is that they'll need a cleft lip repair, which involves a cleft lip, nose, and maybe the gum, and that they'll need a palate repair. Anything else depends on how your son or daughter grows, how they speak, how their teeth come in. And that's the reason why it's a journey. That's the reason why we don't just see a patient for a year and then say, see ya. We follow you very closely because the teeth are developing at different times, the speech is developing at different times. And so along the way, you have to check in. There are checkpoints. There are years where the kids are going down the hall past me. Hi, Pat, going to orthodontics. And then when they're fully grown and they need maybe some jaw surgery, they come down to my door and knock on the door. Hello, we're back again. And so everybody has their role along the way. So, and then in addition, we have 3 ear, nose, and throat specialists who aren't we couldn't fit them in our building. They're 3 blocks away down, like literally a 5-minute walk. And so what we try to do is to schedule appointments for them on the same day as ours. So maybe they aren't in the same building, but they're 3 blocks away. And so, and I'm sort of like the air traffic controller of the cleft and craniofacial teams, sort of watching out and making sure everything is going okay. So,
and you got it on, and you have it on lock.
I think some people are afraid of me. Sometimes I think some of the parents are afraid of me a little bit where, I don't know. I guess I do a little bit of tough love sometimes, And when a mom will say, "Are you sure I shouldn't worry?" And I'll say, "I will never tell a parent not to worry." That is like the craziest thing you could ever say to a parent. Don't worry. Really? My kids are 31 and 34 and I'm still worrying, so forget that. But we try to instill some confidence that yes, we've seen that. I mean, we're going through that with Harlan right now. Right? We're,
Yep.
the scar, is it, and we know that when you do a cleft lip repair, it takes a year or at least a year to see how everything is going to turn out. That is an important relationship between our team and the family to trust us, that we have to give it time, that it's not an immediate, this is exactly how your baby's going to look. And that's why you have to have that connection with whatever team you're with, because you got to have trust in them and confidence, because it's, there are some moments that are hard, that you just don't know what the final outcome is going to be. But I mean, I know just looking at Harlan, I mean, she's a beauty. And, if she needs some kind of revision along the way, we know what to do.
And we know that we're in good hands with it as well. I understand how it's going, and I think that the scar is healing extremely well. And it's for people that, we were warned about this too. We're always going to know, right? We're always going to see it. People that we meet, it's like, oh yeah, she was born with a cleft lip. What? Oh,
I think
the little thing up there. Oh yeah, okay. But oh my God, I didn't know. People that are meeting her for the first time have no idea. And then people like, I had a buddy, we just had a barbecue this past weekend, and we had a friend come over, and he met Harlan literally the first week that she had tape and NAM on. And it was, I remember it was Monday Night Football. It was like September around there. And he came over to watch the game, and he came up to me and he was like, "Oh my God." He goes, "Wait a minute, that's the same kid?" It was a heartfelt, and it's someone, a buddy that I met for the first time that night with Harlan. He had never met me before. He had never met Harlan before. And I was trying to give Ashley 20 minutes of a nap while I took her downstairs and watched a little bit of football. And he goes, "Dude, my heart broke for you. I didn't know what was going to go on." He goes, to see where she came from. And to see, I first saw it the first day that you had the tape on her face. He goes, and now seeing her like this and crushing watermelon or crushing, you know what I mean? Trying to eat eggs. It's like everything is fine. It's remarkable. And
well, it's very gratifying to the team that, we are always so happy that, that you held on with us and that you trusted us. And it's not always perfect. I just have to tell one thing. Sometimes parents will come in and so they have the baby. Okay, I'm going to show you. Okay, so here's how do you like one of the kids gave this to me.
Love it.
So they're holding their baby like this. What do you think about how the nose looks? And I've said, do you think people look at your kid this way? Because this is how they look at your kid. Hello. So
yeah,
that we call it the worm's eye view. Yeah. If you look at anybody's nose, probably not fully symmetric, but, and so I think, we will always micro look at our kids, at ourselves, at everybody, and worry, oh, that result. Even Dr. Flores sometimes, and I'm thinking of him, I'm saying to him, no, remember, we don't look They're not
Yeah.
walking around like this or like this, this is them, and so yeah, we know, and nobody more than him wants when the babies come back and we do the suture removal and do our post-op taping. He goes out. It's so interesting. He goes out and gets the parents, and I hold the baby. And because I think he's so excited that he wants to go out and get them and let them know everything was okay. And so, and he feels it. Every time a family is worried or disappointed or scared, we all feel it because we're very invested. We want perfection, but we all know that that can't be promised, but we do the very best we can.
And the empathy is real and it's appreciated. Like you feel the love. Like
Thank you.
It's there, and it's amazing. And again, it's more than a team. It's more than a family. It all starts from someplace else, and that's myFace. So that's why I'm ecstatic that we exceeded our goal.
Yay!
Amazing. It's super, super fun. So happy to hit this. It's remarkable. First starting it out, I know that it was a hefty feat, but I'm ecstatic. We got it done. It's great. And Stephanie, I know that you guys have some more stuff. You have your spring fundraiser coming on up. Do you want to give just a little bit of heads up of what you guys got? What you guys have planned?
Sure. Well, we want everyone to go to our website. You can see myface.org. And you can go /Edrington, but myface.org. We have lots of information there, but we have a very exciting event called myFace Celebrates, which is a virtual program that's going to take place on June 17th at 7:00. And did I say that right? 17th or 18th? Oh, now I'm going to get Dina or Karen telling me.
They'll type it in.
17th. It's on our website, but it's going to be a wonderful virtual program where we're going to tell stories and just share the messages of our community. We're going to have some amazing, talented performers singing, playing the piano, and we're going to talk a little bit about our work. So we hope people will join us for that program. And then on September 19th, we are going to have our virtual Races for Faces, which is our annual fundraiser where you come together with teams and it's an incredible community event. Last year was virtual. It'll be virtual again this year. We hope maybe the next year it will be live and in person. But these are the two big events coming up. And we hope everybody will join us for that.
Our first event was Races with Faces.
Yeah.
Races for Faces. Our first myFace event. When I think it was one of Harlan's first days out.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. So we're super excited to have these two programs kicking off. And we just invite everybody to come to our website and see all the different tools and resources we have available. We have a wonderful webinar that Pat did with the incredible Dr. Joseph McCarthy talking about what is a comprehensive care team. How do you find a team? What questions do you ask? It's a great webinar. People can come to our website and listen to that at any time and learn. We just have a lot of resources on our website, and we hope people join us. If anybody is out there who knows somebody with a craniofacial difference, we have an adult support group. We have a parent support group. We have an adolescent support group. Just there to help people meet other people and talk about some of the issues they're dealing with. We just want to be here as a resource and reach as many people as we possibly can. So we thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about the work that we do.
It's a beautiful thing. And if you guys could go on back, we've had some awesome chats here. Last week with Jasmine was awesome.
That was great.
I really, really enjoyed the conversation with Dina and Jasmine last week. The conversation with Manny, I love that kid. He is, I'm sorry, I call everyone a kid. I'm from Brooklyn. I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but I love Manny. He was his infectious personality and awesome human being. And then everything that we had here, having David DeFazio on, from Wyoming Whiskey, talking about his daughter, having our CEO Chris Spalding on, telling his heartfelt story about his son, having Mark Brumfield on, talking about the story of his daughter with her cleft palate. And and we keep saying this, 1 in 700 is not that crazy of a number. It's the think about the first floor of a New York City high school. Someone's going to have a craniofacial difference.
Mhm.
That's all it is. It's someone's going to have it. And for those of you that are outside of New York, there's like 5 or 6 floors to a New York City public high school, and there's around 6,000 people shoulder to shoulder, which is why we have to stay virtual.
Yeah.
But honestly, and as soon as you do start talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, my uncle had that. Oh yeah, my niece had that.
Right.
And it's just like you figure it out. It's like, oh, something that we thought was so rare. How could this happen? How could this go down? It's not that rare. These things happen. And most importantly, because it's not that rare, there are so many people out there that are willing to help. There's myFace there that is just pouring in such effort and doing extraordinary work with such a tiny team. Like this is like, guys, it's
Tiny.
great. Like you've seen the whole team, and these 3 boxes are 3/4 of the team, that is doing this work, that's getting these boxes out there, that's putting on these events, that is raising awareness for anyone from infants that are 3 weeks old to adults that are grown in life. It's extraordinary that such a small team could do this. And Stephanie, Karen, Dina, you are such special people. And it's people like you that make parents like Ashley and I feel comfortable, because we get to go meet Pat and that beautiful team opening up their arms saying, welcome to your second family. And it's not BS. It's authentic and it's real. And we can't wait to go back. We can't wait to hear what they're going to say. Yes. We can't wait for the progress report. Ashley had a different view of surgery than me. I was dying on the near the FDR in tears, but Ashley was like dancing and singing and having fun and couldn't wait to go for surgery. It's because of that team. Like Ashley went in there with full confidence, happy, and knowing that that was the day that she got her forever smile. And it's awesome. It really is awesome. And then 3 days in of us getting our butts kicked, because that week post surgery is wicked.
Not fun.
It is wicked. And I think we spoke with Pat every day. Like the normal phone call is like mom, mother-in-law, and then you start going to other parents. For us, it was Pat. If Pat didn't answer, it was email Pat. If that email didn't answer, it was call Pat again. And then it was Pat. And then it was mom. So I think we spoke with Pat every day. and is this normal? Is this? Yes. I'm sorry. I wish I could do more. It sucks. It's normal. I promise you. And it's like we felt bad almost, but it was such a reassurance to have your cell phone number and to call you. It's like that's so rare. That interpersonal relationship with anyone is rare. And to have that with something that's so important for your daughter that just got out of surgery, that's huge. And that is why I will go and I will do a live every night of the week after working with myFace and scream as loud as I can to say, give money to these people.
Well,
because
you.
There's so many more people that need it. And Ashley and I, God bless, we're in a situation where we have health insurance and we're taken care of, and Holland surgery was taken care of. But there are people that don't have those means, that don't have those assets, and myFace is there to help them as well. There are people that have to travel to New York that aren't 45 minutes or a half hour away, that have to come in there, and myFace puts them up and puts them in an apartment that's right across the street from where you're going to have the surgery, or right across the street from where you're going to meet with the doctors. These things are extraordinary, and not everyone has them. And I just ask you to come onto these groups and hear the stories of parents that have to drive 3 hours to a different state to meet their cleft doctor and their cleft team, that have to stay overnight and go out of their pocket that they really can't afford. But it's what they're doing, and everyone's going to do anything for their child. So thank you for making this even easier. It's amazing. And I was so excited to have you on. When I think Karen wrote that you wanted to come on, Pat, I was ecstatic. I couldn't wait to have you on, because you are our first introduction to this. And, hey, it's just you. The chat don't lie. The chat don't lie.
Did I ever?
You
I
were-
don't know if I told you
were-
that.
I thought you were Leonardo DiCaprio. It just kept on going up.
Stop it.
Pat. It's like we had
Stop
a chant going on in the
it.
chat.
And what's so interesting is I never thought I would ever do this, because I thought for my whole professional career, I would take care of kids with cancer, which I did for 10 years. And then I had my own child and I got back from maternity leave and I just cried and cried and cried. And I just felt emotionally, it was too hard for me to do peds oncology. It just was too hard. And I was lucky enough to get a call from a good friend of mine who said, they're starting a position in craniofacial surgery up the street, because I was at Bellevue. And I remember walking up the street. I had no idea. I had one patient with a cleft, I think, when I was in nursing school. And I thought, okay. And then I met Dr. McCarthy, who you didn't have the opportunity, Tommy, to meet because he's, retired. But he set the bar for us. He's just absolutely a phenomenal person. And he set the bar for our team. We are who we are because of him. And there's no doubt. And so I thought, and he said to me, well, you know what, you work with kids with cancer for 10 years, you can do this. And then I just learned and met these incredible families. And I just feel very grateful to have been able to help people come through a dark tunnel, and get to the other side. I tell my kids, I don't care what you do in your life, just do something that makes a difference, that you actually feel good about, at the end of the day. So I feel, my husband says, I don't get all those cards and gifts and flowers. You get all that stuff, except when it's red wine, then he gets it. I'm very grateful, very, very lucky, very grateful to be, have the honor of being a part of the journey of you and Ashley and your family. Who gets this? It's hard.
Absolutely.
Some days it's really hard. It's very, very draining, because I do feel your pain, and especially during COVID, this was really, really difficult for families. And thank God we're luckily, getting back to sort of what we were before. But I just feel grateful, very, very grateful to feel like I'm actually making a difference, and that I get the kind of support that I get from myFace and from the families. The feedback that we get from you makes us feel like, okay, I can get up tomorrow and help these families again, even though it can be hard sometimes. Sometimes the phone rings and I even know who the family is. I know the numbers by heart sometimes. And I think, this is going to be a hard one, but I'll do it. I'll pick up that phone right now. And, because we have families that are just very challenged, families who can't speak English, families I write letters so that people don't get deported, and, because of their kids, needing care here. And so just grateful, grateful, grateful. And if I've helped families, joy, it really does bring me joy. I'm very, very grateful.
You helped our family, and we love you. It's so we'll send that, and we'll always preach it. So thank you, Pat.
Lucky me. Lucky me.
But guys, thank you so much. I'm so excited that, Pat, you were on for us to hit our number. That is epic and perfectly done. Stephanie, thank you so much for everything that you're doing behind the scenes. I'm very excited to be a part of the spring fundraiser, as well as Races for Faces. We're going to continue this. We're going to keep it rocking, anything that we could possibly do. And as always, thank you, Edrington. Pat, I don't even think you're aware of this, but Edrington is part of a charitable trust. So we have given away, I think, well over $350 million to charity
Thank you.
in its existence. And they allow for employees to choose charities that they are passionate about. And they do this double match program. And it's epic to be a part of a company that will do that. And even tomorrow is a mandated day off for the company because it's Earth Day. So we are all going out and we're planting trees and we're doing something that's good for the environment. So every single person from Edrington gets to be off tomorrow, and we're going to be out and we're going to be doing something for our community, doing something for the Earth to celebrate Earth Day. So it is,
amazing.
It really is an amazing company. It really is. And the amount of time that I was able to get off to enjoy my child, but it was needed outside of that because the surgery and the recovery, it was a lot more than just being normal paternity leave. So extremely grateful to have a paternity package as a male. Like I didn't have to go through labor. I was eating fried shrimp. You all right, babe? Everything all right over there? You got it? Like, I didn't have to do anything. Like, and I got paternity leave. Like,
I can't believe you admitted that live.
I was like, don't tell anybody that.
I have no shame. No, and I was nervous because I thought I was going to miss the birth because my parents were like, I got the shrimp. And I'm like, she's going. What do I do? I'm hungry. I don't know. I'll be right back. And I ran out and I got my shrimp. See, and actually could attest. True.
True. Oh my God.
So
you're amazing.
I was a part though. I held up a leg, but that's as far as I went. But
Man, and if you don't maintain the sense of humor through all this, that's one of the things I say to parents. You have to find a way to maintain a sense of humor through this, and because I know that it just must be so hard, especially in the beginning. And but just to keep remembering that you have a daughter, you have an amazing, beautiful daughter who's going to be okay, and and is going to be better for it. I mean, there's so many, and Stephanie, so many young adult patients who I think are who they are because of what they dealt with. I think I can think of so many teenagers and young adults who are just phenomenal. I have one patient, a 16-year-old with a cleft lip and palate, and I said, what year are you in school? Well, I'm a junior. What do you think? She goes, oh, I want to be a nurse for sure. And her mom said to me, it's because of you. She wants to be a nurse. And I thought, oh my God, that is the greatest compliment and joy that anyone could ever pay to me. That the kind of work that I did for them was that impactful. So
it was impactful to Ashley and I as well. Like I said, we would love to be ambassadors for myFace and everything associated with craniofacial differences because of the help that we receive from people like Stephanie, like Pat, like Dina, like Karen. We will always, always, always preach the brand for you guys. Thank you guys. And I hope Harlan will grow up to be a nurse and do exactly what you're saying.
Well, I got to retire at some point, so somebody's got to
pass the reins. Pass the reins.
Somebody's got to take this job. I just got my 35-year pin. Are you kidding me right now?
God bless. That's amazing.
35 years at NYU. It's crazy.
You started when you were 5?
I love you, Stephanie. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, when I started, my daughter was 10 months old, and then I had Gabby, and now Marcella's 34, and Gabby's 31, and Gabby will be, graduating from her residency program. So, and my older daughter has got a master's in education, and she did Teach for America, and she's living in England teaching. I am so lucky. Tony and I are so lucky to have these two amazing daughters who grew up around my patients, and I think it's made them better people for sure. They spent a lot of time in the waiting room doing their homework when I was still working. They went to school up the street from NYU. Are you kidding? I had them right next to me. It's like someone would bring them down to me, and and they became part of the family. They used to work for some of the surgeons. Dr. Flores came to my daughter's wedding because she used to babysit for him. Like, talk about a family. We are a family. Absolutely. And we're very close-knit, all of us. So, yeah, we're very, very lucky.
And I do want to say on behalf of our staff and our trustees, how grateful we are to you, Pat, and the whole team at NYU. You guys really are incredible, and it is a joy to work with you.
Thank you, Steph. Well, as you know, couldn't do without you, all of you. And Dina, Dina and I go way back. Dina was my patient, and I remember saying to her, you can do great things, Dina. You can step up and do it. And I have just watched her shine, and she's amazing.
She's a star.
Yeah. And she recently won an award. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I saw that. Yep.
From the American Cleft Palate Association. Dr. Flores and I nominated her for the Patient Family Leadership Award, and she's going to get it remote. We did a remote award thing, and she's going to be getting it on our virtual meeting, which is at the end of the month. So we're very excited about that. No, she's changed the lives of a lot of our kids in terms of going to school and being bullied at the Wonder Project that she's done. Going in there, some kids didn't want to go to school, and now because of her and going in and intervening, they can do it. So again, it's more than just the medical work that is done. It's the psychosocial support as well.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Actually says, go Dina Zuckerberg.
Go Dina Zuckerberg.
Guys, all good things must come to an end. We've been over an hour already, and I really, really, really enjoyed this one. Pat, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. Stephanie, thank you as always for coming on and supporting these awesome lives and sharing them out. I'm fairly confident that this will be our most viewership because Pat is more popular than most of the celebrities that are in New York right now, based off of the likes and what's been going on. So I want to know who's the president of the Pat fan club. Yeah.
And thank you, Edrington. Thank you for your big hearts.
Thank you, guys.
So impressive. Love you, Ashley. See you soon.
Bye.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. We'll be seeing you in a few short days. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for allowing us to hit our goals. We are going to have 2 more to close out the month. And those will be celebratory ones, obviously, now that we've hit it, but we're going to keep that open and hopefully those donations keep on coming in. But we did hit, and we will be getting the 25K double match from Edrington, and I am ecstatic for it. So, guys, thank you so much. Until next time, we will see you all soon. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.